Okay, would you want a front row seat to your own funeral? The Washington Post is reporting on a D.C. man who planned both a party and a formal ceremony that he could attend before taking his final bow. So would you want to attend your own funeral, Jax?
Like, this seems dark in theory, but yes, I would. Like, I want to, see my friends and my family and people I love in my community party together. I want essentially an East Coast kitchen party.
So why don't you just throw a party?
That's what the party would be, but well, first of all, when I was thinking about funeral, I thought, well, I would want to see how the people would be, but then I realized that's being a ghost, and that's haunting, and that's too spooky for me.
Yeah.
But I would want to have like a celebration of life while I'm still living, if I were able to, because I think that rightfully so, there's so much, there's so much mourning in loss. However, there's also celebration in life, right? And I want people to celebrate me. I also want to celebrate other people in my life before they go, because I want them to feel the love that sometimes we hold on for people when it's too late, right? Like, I want them to be able to feel it, see it, and witness it. And I think that's important.
Okay,
also, good food, come
on. All right,
on.
but here's another idea. Here's a crazy idea. How about when your friends call you, you answer the phone?
I do!
How about when you're in someone's neighborhood, not just you, when you're in your friend's neighborhood and you're passing by the house, how about you stop and knock the door and say hello? How about when you talk to your parents, you say, I love you? How about you talk to your parents? How about you call people? How about you invite people to your home on a regular basis? Like, that is the stuff that matters. To me, a funeral is a celebration of the end of a life. And if you are there, you're still here. So it doesn't make any sense to me. And I just went to a funeral this past weekend that was a beautiful homecoming. And I just can't imagine, I feel like it's a very narcissistic thing to do, to be like, I want for 2 hours my friends to gather and say nice things about me. And I'm like, are you gonna lie in a coffin while this happens or sit on a throne? Like, to me, it just feels weird. If you wanna see your friends, you're alive. Enjoy your life while you are here. It is very short. And when you are gone forever. So I don't understand this desire to have something that is very sad and morbid and have it while you're still here. Just throw a party and see your people on a regular basis. Trust me, when you have someone who's very close to you leave, listen, you're gonna be missing their voice, they're seeing them, smelling them, all of that stuff. I don't know why you'd wanna have this. And it's actually, somebody actually tried this. You know Shark Tank's Barbara Corcoran?
Yeah.
On her 70th birthday, she threw a funeral for herself. And there's a photo, she lay down in a coffin, and she? Yep, and she had 90 guests there, and she popped up while Diana Ross's I'm Alive was playing.
Did people think she was dead, though? Did they
no,
go
but
there?
This was her theme for her party, and it felt like a rotten mango from a tree. People did not enjoy it. It was like, why would you do this?
Yeah.
People really didn't like it, and it's like, I think you gotta think about what a funeral is. It's a homecoming. It is the end. If you're still here, Jax, I'll just come to your house and bring some food.
I don't want people to be, maybe I just want an excuse for people to get together. And I think that,
you don't need
especially since the pandemic, there's been just, everybody feels so separated, and friend groups feel compartmentalized. And I just feel like any excuse to get together, whether it be for a morbid reason or a good reason, is a good reason enough. And to share food and to hang out together.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I would totally do this 1,000%. I'm gonna show this segment to my parents if they're not already watching, and you do this. There's a saying out there that I read. It says, a living funeral is for the dying, while traditional funerals are for the survivors. And that's a really interesting thing, because I think there's a cultural lens to it. The way that North Americans look at funerals is actually really different than the way that a lot of other cultures do. If you look at even the Anishinaabe, who are indigenous communities here in Canada, they regularly do this. It's a celebration of life, and it is a way to honor the person who is passing, and they usher them from one world to the next. It's a way to make amends, right? If there's people that you've lost contact with, and that is for the person who's dying, but that's also for the rest of us who are left behind, and you finally get an opportunity. I think that's a beautiful thing, and I think culturally in Japan they do this all the time as well, and the idea is this is their way of combating ageism, because to them the idea is when you get older, and a lot of people in North America think you become a burden when you get older, they want to respect and honor the aging, and the way to do that is to do a full circle moment. We come into this world into community, and they want you to leave this world surrounded by community, so this is an opportunity. And in Canada, listen, we have MAID, right? Assisted dying is becoming more and more common. So if you have a terminal illness and I don't want everyone to see me at my worst. I just had somebody pass away on my street, and he really didn't want anyone to see him when he was at his really, the weakest point in his life. But if he had, potentially, or someone like him, a living funeral where you have your head about you, you can still see and remember everybody, and you plan it, it takes a little bit of the loss of control and maybe fear that is associated with the end of life away. I think there's a lot of fear associated with
I think you're right.
that.
I think it's very individualized, though, because like that won't work for everyone. Like I can see somebody finding this to be a wonderful thing. For somebody who leans introvert, like for me, this is a bit of a nightmare. I'm just going to be honest. And I'm thinking at the end of the life, and like people showing up who I haven't seen in ages, and trying to have quality
but it would be
time.
your invites.
Okay,
Your
even
invites.
still, trying to make quality time and meaningful conversation with like a whole bunch of people, and then the awkward goodbye. Like this is the most awkward goodbye you could ever think.
Oh, my
so
people pleasing would be terrible. Yeah,
Oh
I
my
would.
God.
I know we're gonna be like, I'm gonna see you later. Goodbye. What are we saying here?
I don't know.
What do
I
we
just
bring?
don't-
Do I bring a
BRB?
gift?
Yeah.
What do you do?
I just don't think it's for
Weird.
everyone. I think if this speaks to you, and I just don't think it's something you can force on, let's say, like even though I would love this, if my parents wanted this to be there, but I don't think they would want this. So I think it very much has to come from the person who is dying.
It has to come
Yeah.
from that person. And you know, there are death doulas who do this for a
Yes,
living.
yeah, there are, yeah.
And they're saying the number one thing is the person who is dying is the one who is leading,
right.
who's
Yes,
creating.
exactly.
in
And
their
I think
wishes.
it's also different. If you are dying and you know you're coming to the end of your life and you want to talk to all of your friends, it's different than you are 100% okay like Barbara and you're like, I want to throw a party.
Yeah, that was
I love this.
weird.
Yes.
It's like,
Please don't do that.
I'm not showing
Please
up at
don't
that
do
party, that's for sure.
No.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.